本節目內主持人及嘉賓的言論純屬個人意見，並不代表本台立場。
Right, welcome back to Boiling Point, part 2 of the show. And I'm sorry, Paul. It's like I was too excited when it comes to anagram and shit like that. And we kind of skipped to the parts, which is about the introduction.
Yeah, that's what I think. That it is better to tell somebody who I am.
Right. So, the audience is gotta have some idea, right?
Right, John. And simply just I'm maybe you say the founder of this program, is it?
Wow, founder.
Yeah, and me and Pokadai and Ben. Yeah. Tell some story about how this show will become real or happen. And
so you see the pressure here.
Yeah.
Because he's the boss.
No, I'm not the boss.
He's one of the boss.
Yes. The meaning of this show is Crocodile and me and sit together and talk about maybe we shall make some English speaking program, and it's about what happened in Hong Kong, the political story on the situation in Hong Kong, and let the world know.
It's actually really necessary because all these media who are covering the stories of Hong Kong, they're mostly biased.
Yeah, right. That's the main reason. Yeah,
and most of them got like being controlled by government, by communist China,
or by some merchants.
Yeah, some merchants with some questionable beliefs,
political size.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, Ben come to Hong Kong as a researcher in the China University.
Yep.
And I met him again, and since last time he left maybe a year ago, and I tell him, what, you want to do some program in the internet video or something like that? And he just said yes. Okay, then it happened. Okay.
Well, it's a fine pick because because Ben has traveled like to a lot of places,
right,
including mainland China, Japan, and now in Hong Kong. He's actually from Australia, and whenever I ask him stuff about Australia, he always he's not talking about it.
Yeah, especially that the researching he's now doing in the Chinese university is about Hong Kong.
Yep.
So he told me that if he participate in this show, will help him in his researching work. So
actually, there's a lot of common grounds between these two.
So strange, and last time a few weeks ago, there's a Western people from England visit my radio.
Well, my radio.
Yeah, and that guy, he said he's from the University of Surrey, and that guy, he said he's also doing a research in his university about Hong Kong. The strange about that, is there many universities studying Hong Kong in the research?
Well, because Hong Kong has become a spotlight of the world for some reason.
Strange, yeah.
It's actually not that strange because all these powers in the world, the UK, the US.
That's make me wonder: is there?
They have a lot of assets in Hong Kong. They have lots of assets in Hong Kong. So if shit happens to Hong Kong, it happens to them too.
Right.
So that's exactly what I'm going to tell in our next story. It's about the real estate thing. We all know that it's really unaffordable for us to get a place to live in Hong Kong. I mean, even if you're renting a place to live, even if it's as small as a coven, it's like it's still ridiculously expensive. It's like 10,000 sometimes. If it's in
depends on
in some
how big is how big is the flat, okay?
Yeah.
So
and the real reason is I mean since 2008 there was this the Federal Reserve of the United States. I mean it's like more like a central bank in the US. They have been buying assets like everywhere to and as well as QE. It's like in a more simpler way, people say, oh, whenever it's about QE, it's about printing money.
All right.
That kind of thing. And that causes a lot of inflations in Hong Kong.
The next topic is about real estate, is it?
Yeah, the real estate. And and recently the Federal Reserve of the United States, it's going to reduce its balance sheet. You know, we all have our own balance sheet, even the Federal Reserve. And as it gradually begins tightening its monetary policies, its next task will be addressing its swollen balance sheet, which is about like $4.5 trillion. That's a huge sum of money. And the reason why I'm talking about that is, well, back in the year of 2008, it began a large scale of purchase of assets of all sorts, including the US treasuries, the government support mortgage-backed securities, the MBS, properties in Hong Kong, and now they're aiming to shrug off, you know, the reason why they're doing this is because they're trying to shrug off possible collapse of financial system back at that time. So
they don't want the financial tsunami at 2008 or
they're trying
7 happen again.
Well, it's hard to predict, but some people who are making guesses, they say something like the price will drop like maybe when it comes to properties in Hong Kong. If they're changing the policies, it's going to be like a 30% drop, at least.
At least. I still cannot afford it.
Well, because
even a 30% drop.
Yeah, it's like because for since that time all the way till now, the rise of property prices, it's like 200%.
It's crazy,
It's totally crazy. So so now they're changing their policies, and for the so now they're trying to reduce the balance sheet. They will be selling assets and hold more money in their hands. Because of that, the banks will decrease lendings. That means if you are trying to trade properties, if you're trying to borrow from a bank, buy a property, sell it for profit, it's not going to happen anymore. Because they will be like, well, we have to manage our risk and blah 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 blah, and then and people who are actually holding these properties becomes harder and harder to to sell it away.
Right.
And sorry. And also, it's not only about the U.S. It also happens in China because last year in the autumn, Xi Jinping said something like, "Houses are for living, not for trading for profits." He said something like that. I'm not into him, but well, since he mentioned that, the banks in China, not only the People's Bank, but also the commercial banks, they're shrinking their balance sheets too. It's like they're monitoring the business. It's like they're making it even more strict. It's harder to borrow money from them. It's harder to to do all kinds of property trades, and because as well as some kind of anti-corruption campaigns. Because of all these, China is also doing the similar thing. So Hong Kong is caught in between these two.
So there will be an earthquake in the property market coming.
And it is not a common earthquake this time. It's like there will be a lot of stagnant money in the market. It's like people are not selling, people are not buying, and then the market will be like so quiet and stuff. And because Hong Kong's property prices enjoyed a relaxed monetary condition since 2008, we've accumulated like I said before, like a double of the original price, which is totally crazy. So according to SCMP's related article, the international property analyst Everett Lau of Botcom expects some 30% drop of home prices, but the Bank of China is saying something opposite in the MIHK.tv website, because they want the land of Hong Kong people. They don't want Hong Kong people, they want the land. And if information like this goes out, they'll be really unhappy, because it doesn't mean good business for them. So I don't know if you guys are actually having any properties, owning any properties, or trying to trade any. You just gotta stay alert, because it's going to be a crazy time. You don't have any on hand right now?
I have in Malaysia.
Malaysia, there's a wise investment.
And no mortgage.
No mortgage. Wow. You just paid off?
Yeah.
You're really lucky in this case. So we move on to the next story about Liu Xiaobo. We all know that
the activist.
Yes, the activist. Control panel, would you mind showing picture number 6, please? Control panel, would you mind showing picture number 6, please? Number 6, not this one.
6,
not this one.
This one is 4.
What? Right.
System down.
Yeah, we've got some technical issues, but still you can Google yourself. I mean, his pictures are all over the web. And in case you still don't know who Liu Xiaobo is, he's a Chinese literary critic, he's a writer, he's a professor, he's a human rights activist, called for political reform, and he's also calling for the end of communist single party rule. So because of his work, he got arrested like at least twice. Once in 1989 during the June 4th movement.
Yeah.
And
the second time
the second time is a recent one. Is in 2000.
After he released a what's that called?
It's
announcement. Is it?
Well, it's his responsible for the drafting of the Charter 08 manifesto.
All right.
So because of that, he got imprisoned until like recently, and because he's diagnosed with a terminal liver cancer.
Yeah.
So what we saw in the previous picture, it's we saw a really thin, skinny
couples.
Liu Xiaobo with his bald wife, because his wife kind of swore an oath, like as long as he's still in prison, she'll keep her head bald. So now he's out. He was granted the medical parole. But I mean, when it comes to parole, it's actually pretty different from what the Western world is. I mean, it's different because in China, if you got into some trouble related to politics, they torture you like in every possible way.
Insult you.
Not just insult.
And your family will be in trouble as well.
Yeah, and as long as you got in prison, they'll torture you like they just make you sick. I've heard of stories like people get into prison and then got some skin conditions.
Right.
牛皮癬啊，我識講。
And then skin disease.
Yes, some skin disease. They fed you with questionable food, and eventually, in the case of Liu Xiaobo, he got cancer, got terminal liver cancer, and not to mention that because of that he actually got rewarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his long non-violent struggle for fundamental human rights. Blah 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 blah. But I don't know. Every time I hear stories like this, no matter it's Tibetan, no matter it's Chinese, it's as long as people got caught and thrown into the prison, it's like living hell. There's no way you can do
anything.
Yeah, they kind of locked you up in some inhuman condition. Sometimes you can't even stand up.
Yeah, so
I don't know. In cases like this, it's totally my opinion. If you're fighting a regime like this, I would say in a rather pessimistic way or non-aggressive way, you're doomed to lose.
Well,
I mean, why don't people try something different?
On the other hand, I can look at things in different ways. That this kind of regime happened, maybe the reason why the kind of people exist in the country, something like that, or maybe some people said that before. Is it what kind of people you have in your country? That will be what kind of the government you deserve.
It's the nation. It's a whole nation of selfish people, cowards.
This story told me about peaceful struggling is no use at all.
Yes, it's futile. It's useless.
This peaceful struggling will be end like this. Okay, die in the prison.
And then you got tortured. You get cancer.
You die anyway.
Yeah.
You die 40 years or some years later. You die. So
if it's me, I'd rather trade all these days.
So that a bit emotion.
I don't know. It's like rather fight and die instead of hide and
Right. You see now today, what happened in the east side of Ukrainian people fight and die for their country. Yeah.
Yep.
To stop the Russian invasion. So.
Yep. But it's too bad it was during the Obama regime, so they're not getting any help. That's a really sad story. Anyway, that's the end of part 2. Stay tuned for part 3.
經錯過我哋精彩嘅節目，而家上嚟呢個網址就可以訂閱晒我哋8大頻道，付費之後仲可以重溫晒所有精彩嘅節目。記得要訂閱我哋嘅 YouTube channel 同埋讚好我哋嘅 Facebook 專頁啊！